The Bengals are all the way back. Joe Burrow, I mean, if that week 1 thing didn't happen, he'd be right in the middle of the MVP conversation. He's been incredible after that week. Let's talk about what the Bengals are doing that's making them so unstoppable. So we're starting off with this play, which it's a cover 2 zone, and this is the coverage that we've seen early on kind of slow down this Cincinnati team a little bit. I mean, the reality is, last year, if you're not someone who keeps up with the X's and O's too much, the way it worked last year was that teams basically were kind of trying, the Bengals trying Ja'Marr Chase, seeing if they could have their great corners cover Chase one-on-one, and the teams that tried that really regretted it because Chase was burning everybody who was trying to try him one-on-one. This year, teams aren't doing that as much. They're playing 2 safety deep coverages, meaning that if Chase does run deep down the field, there will be somebody there who has kind of a bit of separation and a bit of space and can hopefully knock the ball away. So the Bengals struggled a little bit, but they're kind of picking up, and one of the things they're doing is saying, hey, just because you're playing 2 safeties deep doesn't mean we can't throw the ball deep down the field. And I like teams that do that. I feel like too often teams say, oh, well, cover 2, can't throw the ball down the field. No, you still can. That's still allowed in football. It's going to be Tyler Boyd running a deep route, and you can see how it can work, right? Kind of splitting the safeties deep over the middle. There could be a space there. Like, look, Burrow is going to take the snap. Burrow's going to run a play action, and Burrow is just about to throw this football. You see it's, you can see how this can work, right? You can see why this could be a completion. Burrow makes the throw, and immediately after he makes the throw, the safety falls down, making it a lot easier of a throw. Makes it look like a simple decision, but Burrow actually threw it just a hair before the safety fell down, so it was just a good decision by Burrow to make that throw. It was a good throw on top of it, and it worked out. But this is kind of what they can do, is they can find ways to beat cover 2, or just beating these types of coverages in general of when teams are playing zone. They're just getting better at beating those. Like, another example is a much more simple one, something like this, which is not, okay, you're burning them down the field, but you're still going to get a decent chunk play against a 2 safety deep coverage. This time it's quarters coverage, but you see the way that, the Bengals have 3 eligible receivers lined up to their left. You see these 3 routes, and for the Falcons, it's pretty much 3 one-on-one matchups at this point. So the whole appeal of this coverage is you can get away with these one-on-one matchups, but the reality is, in this situation, you're still going to have one-on-one matchups deep down the field because of the scheme you're running. And if you're Zach Taylor, that's the goal. You have a talented team. You don't have to overthink this stuff. Your goal is to get as many situations where guys can have one-on-one matchups as possible. If you do that, you're going to win football games. Look at how right when this play begins, you're going to notice that over to the left side of the screen, there is a window where Burrow can make this throw. Again, once again, to Tyler Boyd. So, one-on-one matchup. Kind of a tough throw, though, right? I mean, Burrow is currently on the hash marks all the way to the right side of the screen. You have Boyd, who's running all the way to the left. I say right side of the screen, really right side of the field for the offense, more the top half of the screen, whereas Boyd's running all the way to the bottom of the screen. So it's a tough angle throw. He's going to really have to get it there perfectly timed. However, Burrow's throw is right on the money. It's fast. It's perfectly timed. They don't get the touchdown, but they get very close. Just, a very good play from all parties involved, especially the coaching staff, getting them situations where they can have one-on-one matchups. Man, what a 180 Zach Taylor has done these past few weeks, huh? And then the Falcons overthought it a little bit. That's kind of the other thing that happened. Going over to this play, they said, all right, well, this cover 2 stuff isn't working. We have good corners. Let's put our good corners on their good receivers. No, don't do that, because Ja'Marr Chase will destroy you. He'll destroy you in small ways, like this one. It's going to be a one-on-one matchup on the outside. You see Chase's route. And right when this play begins, Burrow takes a snap. You see Burrow he's firing it. I mean, there's not separation. Burrow doesn't care if Ja'Marr Chase has separation or not. If he sees Chase one-on-one, you better believe the ball is going Ja'Marr Chase's direction. And as you see, the throw does go in that direction. It's really well thrown, and also, Chase, one of the best in the business at adjusting to the ball. So those 2 things work out really well, and they can definitely possession you to death, it feels like, in those situations. But of course, that's not all Ja'Marr Chase is known for. Let's head over to this play now. So this one is going to be a cover 1 man play with Ja'Marr Chase running a go route on the outside right here. If you're ever in this situation as a defense, just call a timeout. Better than giving up the touchdown is wasting a timeout, because this is just, you never want to do this. Never. If I'm a defensive coordinator going up against Cincinnati, I'm saying there will be 0 plays this game where Ja'Marr Chase has this situation of a one-on-one matchup with a corner playing press man coverage and no safety help. Just always a mistake. It's just always a mistake. Look at how when this play begins, look at how quickly Chase gets open. I mean, Burrow had just gotten rid of the ball now, because again, Burrow was throwing it there. Burrow wasn't even hesitating. The ball was going this direction. Burrow saw the situation and said, yep, throwing it there. And Chase is just already open. He's the best at these types of routes. There's no one I would take in this situation more than Ja'Marr Chase, and he's only in his second year. Watch Chase, again, be able to get open, get the grab, get the touchdown. I mean, Chase is incredible, but like, what are you doing putting yourself in that situation? That's what you want to say, but at the same time, you do kind of understand why the Atlanta Falcons did it, because you saw them kind of getting beat up by the Bengals early on with that zone coverage stuff. The Bengals had an answer for that. So the reality is, you're picking your poison against Cincinnati. Cincinnati, if they want to throw on you and they're executing, they will throw on you. That's just the reality of the situation. One last thing to bring up, I should mention, like, there were some schemed up plays as well. They don't need this stuff, but hey, you'll certainly take it. It's going to be a play action. You have a receiver running over the middle, so get linebackers to move in, throw over the top. Look at how when this play begins, Burrow runs this play action. You see, you have someone open. There's a linebacker for Atlanta trying to get back into this play, doing a decent job at it. However, a great throw from Joe Burrow, a great catch from Tyler Boyd. I mean, those guys were certainly locked in, but it just kind of goes to show this Bengals team can beat you in any way. They can beat you with play actions over the middle if they want to. They should do more of those, because they are good at those. They can beat you with kind of the Tyler Boyd stuff, whether that's underneath, outside the numbers, or even deep down the field. And of course, if you play cover one, Ja'Marr Chase will absolutely destroy you. So what does that make? What do we make of this Bengals team? I think that the Bengals, one thing worth noting, their offensive line still isn't great, right? So, wasn't an issue in any of these plays because of the fact that they get rid of the ball quickly. And that's kind of also one of my main points I've talked about in today's football is a good receiving core can protect a quarterback. You look at sack numbers, and it's actually pretty shocking how similarly having a good offensive line and having a good receiving core helps prevent sacks. They're relatively close. A good offensive line helps a little bit more, but it's not that much more. Certainly not as much as you would think. So part of it is because if you have a good receiving core, your quarterback is getting rid of the football quicker, meaning that you're not actually taking those hits. And again, in today's football, the reality is that you can, if a guy's getting open, some of these throws, Joe Burrow's getting rid of in 1 second, no matter how good your edge rushers are, no matter how bad the Bengals offensive line is, if they can get guys open quickly, it won't matter. And that's why they went to the Super Bowl last year, despite having a huge hole at right guard. And it's why they're still looking awesome, even though I don't think their offensive line is still quite there yet. I think they can still win a lot of games. Every team has some weaknesses. That's theirs, but their strengths more to make up for it, in my opinion. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts? Are the Bengals indeed back? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.